Hi, good evening everybody. Kate B here from sunny Florida. Yes, watching the sunset over the lake. I'm trying this new... I hope you can hear me well. Drop me a line if you stop by. Let me know if you can hear me well, if the sound is great. I'm here at the local park watching the sunset. The sun is like really bright and nice, and I like the colors of the sunset. So today I'm doing this live stream from the car. I'm already done working. I finished my work at 5:10, so it took me about 20 minutes to get to the park. So I'm here, I'm trying a new format. Thank you for stopping by. I have 2 people. To confess, I put that stream that's gonna say Heartbroken and Betrayed. Excuse me. I got my new manicure. Yeah, I'm just waiting for more people to stop by. I've heard from other vloggers something about the vertical or live stream when it brings you a lot of people who are just scrolling randomly in YouTube and decide to stop by at your live stream and then tell you oh, I'm sorry. Something wrong with my cough. Yeah. Waiting for more viewers to get in. 10 viewers. Thank you for coming in. Trying this new format, trying to tell you a story about Heartbroken and Betrayed. Yeah, right after the Valentine's. If you get together. Thank you for stopping by at my live stream. If you're listening, can you please tell me if you can hear me well, if my microphone works? I probably, let me see. I'm probably gonna start talking about why this live stream is called Heartbroken and Betrayed. You know, it was Valentine's Day yesterday, but nothing heartbroken and betrayed. It's just a story from the past. I was thinking how to revive my channel, how to attract more viewers, and I was thinking doing like some brainstorming about what video get watched, and I came across this thing that when you name your videos as a clickbait, there are more people who just come out of curiosity and randomly come to your stream. Hi, welcome, Flan. Welcome. I'm Kate B. Here is Kate B from sunny Florida. I'm trying to attract more viewers to my channel and try to get more views for my videos, live stream, and my shorts, and just trying to revive, have a little bit of hype on my channel. So my live stream is called Heartbroken and Betrayed, and I did some brainstorming. How long have you been a YouTuber? Well, I've been a YouTuber for about a year now. Thank you for asking. I got a lot of subscribers, but I don't have a lot of views on my regular videos and live streams. I only have lots of views on my shorts when I show my daughter, the gymnast, who attracted all the subscribers, and whose shorts with her gymnastic routine get watched. So I'm very happy about it. I'm very grateful for every subscriber. I'm very grateful for every viewer. Thank you for stopping by, Flan. Craftsback, hi, I know who you are. I don't think this content is intended for kids, so take away your kids from the screens, because that's probably, yeah, I marked this live stream as not intended for kids. So why did they name that stream like that? Hello girl, where do you live? I live in sunny Florida, Orlando area. I've been living in Florida, United States for about 17 years. I'm an immigrant from Eastern Europe, Republic of Moldova, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Kate B. If you haven't watched my shorts, I show some shorts with my cooking skills. I show some shorts with my daughter's gymnastics routines. I'm a mother of two beautiful girls who are 14 and 10. I'm a working mother because I work full-time at the local university. And I'm also a wife and a daughter. My father, who is 82, lives in my house. And I'm happily married for about, how many years? 15 years. Yes, I'm happily married for about 15 years. Hello, girl, where do you live? So, I decided to do a little trick because I'm trying to revive my channel and attract more subscribers, attract more viewers, and boost my views, boost my statistics, boost my analytics, boost my revenues and stuff like that. So I'm trying this new thing because a lot of vloggers swear that vertical live streams attract a lot more random viewers who just want to stop by and say hi and just ask you random questions. And I'm trying this something new, but because, you know, I'm Kate B and I'm from Florida, and I was thinking how to name my stream and what it's going to be about. So while I see a lot of viewers. Thank you for stopping by. I have 28 viewers. That's a big success for me. I'm very grateful for each of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't even know where you're from, so if you want, share whatever you want, and I'm gonna read the chat. So that was a clickbait. If you clicked on it just to be curious why Heartbroken and Betrayed right after the Valentine's Day, I just want to tell you, don't worry, nobody's heartbroken right this moment. Nobody's betrayed right this moment. I'm gonna just tell you a story from the past, story from when I was 19. And just telling you that if you haven't watched my shorts, just go check out some of my shorts about my beautiful daughter who is a gymnast, about my cooking skills, about my date, about what I wear, what I love to wear, my clothes, what I like to buy, unpacking and stuff like that. So again, let's go back to the topic of this live stream. It's gonna be Heartbroken and Betrayed. I'm 47 and I'm gonna tell you the stories from the past. They were a long time ago. They were in early 90s, in early 90s in Eastern Europe. And all these people who I'm gonna talk about, they're still there. They're like having their own families. If somebody recognizes himself or herself in this live stream, I don't know if I should apologize or if you're gonna just, you know, be upset with me telling the stories. But it's I promise it's gonna be nothing really bad. It's just gonna be experience. It's gonna be just interesting stories. And maybe I just thought to myself, how I'm gonna revive my channel. My life right now is pretty stable. You know, not every day we have lots of events going on to talk about. But if you want to do a random live stream and you want to attract more viewers, you can just randomly sit in the car and do a live stream and just pour your soul out. Just tell a story, just tell something interesting, something that comes into mind, and just be yourself. So today's story is from early 90s when I lived back in Eastern Europe, Republic of Moldova. The country was pretty poor back because it was going from centralized economy to the market economy, and things were rough for many families in the beginning of 90s. And I was back then, I was a student at the local college. I lived at home with my parents, and I was the youngest daughter in the family, and I have two older daughters. And I had a lot of restrictions. You know, I had curfews, I couldn't date, I couldn't come home like right after 11. So living with my parents, I had to abide by the rules of the house, because, you know, I respected my parents. My parents were always authority to me when I was growing up, and being the youngest daughter in the family, of course, they made sure they were very protective of me. They were telling me not to have like early relationships, not to, mess around with boys, not to get pregnant or something like that. So this is the story when I was 19, and this is the story of my friend, my girlfriend, who why heartbroken? You would ask, why heartbroken and betrayed? Because that was a story of a girl who stole my boyfriend, and she did it twice, not even once. Like, first time I kind of thought he was my boyfriend and she stole him, but the second time it wasn't even my boyfriend, it was somebody who I was interested in, and she stole that guy too. So I wanted to tell that story just to share, because it's been so many years, and every time I reflect on the story, I felt like really differently about what was happening. But when you mature, when you have more experiences in life, you learn a lot from the past experiences. But when you get older, you know how to move on. You just reflect, and you just reflect on it and make fun of it. You don't really stress about it. You don't really sweat about it anymore. You don't even worry about it anymore. So Heartbroken and Betrayed is more like a flashy name for this live stream, just because it's a sort of a clickbait, so you guys stop by and listen to the story. Okay. So I had a friend. I met her on the first year of college, and I lived in the capital of Republic of Moldova, which was a very small country, which was a part of the Soviet Union, and Soviet Union broke in 1992. I became a student in college in 1994. So I met this girl. She was in my class, and she was from a smaller town south of Moldova, and she was from a small town, and she had a sister who lived in the capital. So she came to go to college, and she lived with her sister, and her aunt. She lived when she started to go to college. She didn't want to live in the dorm, and a lot of people who came from little towns, they lived in the dorm back in the day. I was lucky because I lived with my parents, and again, I was 19, and I didn't date a lot, because again, my parents were very strict, and there were a lot of restrictions, a lot of house rules, and my parents were very protective about me having relationships. So at 19, and I consider myself late bloomer, so at 19 I was really, didn't have any boyfriends. I was really immature. I was socially awkward. Yeah, we went to like disco parties. We met students from other colleges. We kind of used to hang out with girls from my college class. And back in the day, when you go to college, you pretty much stayed with one group of, like, when it was in our college, we stayed with one group of people for maybe 4 or 5 years while we were going to the college. So it wasn't like we were attending classes and every time it was a different group of people. It was pretty much a standard group of people that we stayed in college for. We've been going to college for 5 years. So I met this girl. She was super cute. She was very nice. She was very kind, and we started to hang out in the first year of the university. And when I turned 19, yeah, I guess in 1994 I was 18. That was first year of college. So when I turned 19, she and her sisters threw me a big party in my house. So they cooked for me, and they invited a lot of friends. And hello, girl, where do you live? Yeah, I have 3 viewers. Thank you for sticking with me. So she and her sister were very good cooks, and unfortunately my mom was staying in the hospital for a long time, and my dad was traveling on business far, far away. So I stayed in my apartment all by myself, and it was kind of like my birthday is in August, right before the school starts for the fall semester again. So I felt very lonely, and they were my friends. Like this girl was my friend. Let's call her Lana. Her name is Lana. So Lana was my friend, and her older sister was also my friend. So they said, well, since your parents are away and you're all alone for your birthday, how about we come to your house, we throw you that big party. They brought a lot of food from the village, from the countryside, and their mom was super nice to send all this fresh food for the party, and they were super nice to cook for me, and I didn't feel lonely. We had a nice time. We had lots of guys coming, some girls and guys we met before. They were coming to my 19th birthday party, and we had such a good time. We had a little bit of alcohol. Back in the country where I'm from, alcohol, you can drink it like under supervision of your parents or without a supervision of your parents, since we were like 14, 15. But because it was easily available, we didn't make a big deal out of it, so there was some sort of culture. My parents kind of trusted me that I'm not gonna drink too much, I'm not gonna have like really wild parties, or I'm not gonna end up having like sex or getting pregnant. They would worry about it, but there was something about they would worry about it, but you don't disclose everything. If you say you're having a party, you just tell like number of friends that come into your house, and you don't need to disclose like everything. So back in the day, you can, like, if your parents are so strict, and like any teenager, you would lie and you would say, okay, that's a party for 10 people, but there are 20 people coming to your house. Of course, we had a lot of food, and what I like about Moldovan culture, that from very early age we were taught that there is some culture of drinking. People normally drink homemade wine, because Moldova is famous for wines. So we had some vodka, but some people preferred vodka. That was totally fine. But girls, we usually drank champagne, or we usually drank like dry wines or homemade wines. And we were told that if you're drinking, you have to eat. So our culture of drinking from early age, we knew that if you eat a lot, you're not going to get alcohol poison disease. So it wasn't a big deal. As long as, we had lots of foods, as long as we had like nice, good dinner, or we could like stay and drink for, I don't know, for a couple of hours, and nobody got like super drunk, and nobody got alcohol poison, and nobody got wild. So that was pretty decent party. If you ask me, for me turning 19, it was like pretty nice, decent party. So and Lana threw it for me with her sister, and I was very grateful, because the party turned out to be fun. Everybody had a good time. And of course, we met some guys that we invited them over from a different college, and some people formed couples after this party. But I don't remember. Yeah, I think later on, another guy who I liked from that party, I think he was my boyfriend briefly, but it didn't work out. So that was before the second year of college. Thank you for sticking with me. I have like 3 viewers. Thank you for being with me. I really appreciate you staying and listening to my story. So can you hear me well? Can you see me well? Drop me a line. So what happened after that party? Okay, after that party, we started second year of college, and later on, maybe, I don't recall when, what was that exactly, but later on, we were like friends with Lana, and we would go out sometimes together, and she would come to my house, we'll cook together, we go shopping together, and we were good students. And my mom, like when she got better, she got out of the hospital, she really liked my friendship with Lana, because she said she was a good girl, she was very laid back. And I think my parents even went to visit her parents in the village, so they kind of like met each other, and families liked each other. So my mom really you know, was happy that I had a good college friend, and she wouldn't tell me like you know, sometimes if you meet someone, your mom would tell me, oh, this person is a bad influence, blah blah blah. But she was very happy with Lana. So later on, Lana was very beautiful. So I was as I say, I wasn't very popular in high school, and I wasn't very cute by like the standards we had back in the day. I was yeah, I was probably very socially awkward, because you know, I had a lot of insecurities, and my self-esteem was really low. But you know, Lana was beautiful. Lana was gorgeous. She had big brown eyes, very pale skin. She had brown hair, which she styled very nicely. She used just a little bit of makeup, and she was always very beautiful and attractive girl, gorgeous. And she had beautiful, beautiful body, beautiful skin. So next to her, I always felt like an ugly one, you know, like and everybody would tell you that, you know, back in the day, if you gain some weight, people, you know, would tell you you're fat, you know. My mom would also give me some remarks about my body parts, and it added to the low self-esteem. And of course, having a beautiful friend next to me, I kind of felt like if she gets noticed, I have a chance to be noticed too. So I don't know if I was jealous. Yeah, of course I was jealous of her beauty, but you know, because she was a nice friend to me, and I was friendly with her older sister, and because our parents met, and because we were doing so well in college, we spent a big chunk of time together. I was okay with that, you know. Even, you know, as a teenage girl, you get jealous of your friend sometimes if she's prettier than you, but that's okay. So back in the day, if I would tell you a story when my wounds would be raw, that would be a different story. Now I'm smiling because looking from my age, back 20 years, what happened almost 30 years ago, I laugh at myself, because those experiences they were in the beginning of your dating life, they were in the beginning of your youth, and everything. You were so sensitive, to every little thing happened to you, and every experience was so stressful, every experience was so raw. Now, when you look back, you're thinking, oh my gosh, that was a fun adventure. Like later on in life, when everything's settled, when you're 47 years old, you can just laugh, and you can just say how fun it is to reflect and remember that you have all these funny stories to tell, and how fun that you later in life, when everything is settled in all aspects of your life, how fun it was you had that experience, but you were down the road, you were not traumatized by those experiences. You were able to cope, you were able to learn, you were able to move on. So Lana betrayed me twice, but to tell you the truth, now I don't hold grudges. I don't hold anything against her. She's a successful woman. She has beautiful family, kid, and she's, you know, happily married. So now I look at it as when we are young, we all go through a lot. And even if back in the day I thought she was like evil, she betrayed me, she wasn't a good friend, blah blah blah. Later on, you know, I moved on, and I forgave her, and I didn't hold grudges. Like, how long you can hold grudges? Okay, you can hold grudges for 10 years, you can hold grudges for 15 years, but you can't hold grudges for stupid behavior at 19. You can't hold grudges for stupid behavior for 30 years ago. You just move on. You grow out of it, and you become more mature, you become more experienced, you become more settled, more happy about yourself, more, you have like higher self-esteem, so you don't worry about what happened 30 years ago. So if Lana ever watches my videos, if Lana ever watches my channel, she will know what I'm talking about. And if she even comments, if she even like wants to talk to me about it, I will be happy to discuss it again. Anyway, so what happened next? So she was very beautiful. So anywhere we go, the guys will approach her, you know, and they would ask questions. They would want to meet her, and they would ask questions, and they would kind of want to hang out, and they would want to kind of like be around her. And I liked it because you know, why not? So one time we were going somewhere that it was very slippery, and I don't remember what season it was. Was it like was it slippery, or was it just something with her shoe that she almost fell? Like she tripped outside on the street and she almost fell. And that was that guy, that cute guy who was a little older than us, and we were like 19 years old, 19 years old. And that guy saw her fall, and he kind of like walked like passed us by, and he saw her fallen, and he kind of caught her so she doesn't fall on the floor, she doesn't fall on the ground. So, and then, you know, of course, he sees her and he likes her, and he starts a conversation. Hi, girls, how are you? Where you going? What's up? Like random guy on the street. And of course, we were like to flirt. Back in the day, you know, life was a little more easy, and nobody worried about, like, if you don't like flirting, you don't flirt. Of course, there were bad cases of rape, bad cases of like women abuse, but you know, sometimes if you're in public and there are a lot of people, and it's a daylight, or it's like an early evening, there are a lot of people in public, boys did not mean harm. So he seemed like a nice guy, so he wanted to have a conversation with us, and we were totally fine with it. So traditionally, it was nothing wrong with meeting people on the streets, like, because people walked, people used the public transportation, people didn't drive, like we didn't drive. I didn't drive until I came to the United States, until I was 30. So we didn't drive, we walked everywhere, like and we were probably going to the bus stop, like trolley bus stop, when that happened. So that guy was like, wanted to meet us, you know. He said, oh, girls, like, let's meet again. I'm so happy to, you know, like, we exchanged the phone numbers, we exchanged the names, and he said, let's meet sometime. Maybe we can go somewhere for you know, for an ice cream. Back in the day, we didn't even drink coffee. And I think Lana liked him, and she kind of asked me, do you like him? And I said, yeah, I like him. We can have him as a friend. And he seemed a little older, he seemed a little more mature, so we're like, you know, like, we were single, we didn't have boyfriends, we didn't have relationships, so we didn't think much about it. But we decided to, you know, kind of think, well, if he calls, or if we call him, we can get together. So later on, in a couple of maybe days, or by the end of the week, or I don't know, maybe it was a weekend, the guy tells us that he lives alone and he has his own apartment, and we can come hang out in his apartment. And we didn't think much about it because it's two of us. Now, like, if my daughter meets random guy on the street at 19, I wouldn't want her to go to his house. But back in the day, things were a little, I don't know, we kind of like felt safe, you know, we kind of felt to ourselves, we're going together, and it's just one guy. So if we go to his house, nothing bad is going to happen. He's just going to invite us. He invited us to watch a movie, to watch TV. Back in the day, like, you watch TV. So we go to his house, me and Lana. And we kind of thought about him. He's cute. He's a little older. Maybe, I don't know how old was he back then. But when we got to his house, like, it was a nice apartment, nothing fancy, nothing like super bad, like nothing trashy. It was like a nice place. So we watched the movie. He got some snacks or like some drinks, whatever. So we sit on the couch, and three of us, like one guy and two girls, and we're watching the movie. We laugh, we like discuss the movie and stuff like that. But we don't know what his intentions are. We don't know if he wants to date us, or we're just going with the flow. But two girls and a guy, so he doesn't make any bad moves, or he doesn't try to have sex with us, or he doesn't try to kiss us, or he doesn't try to do anything wrong. He's just he's just being a good host. So we watched that movie, and we had like conversations, and then I don't remember how things were later, but we don't think much about dating him. We don't think much about it, because for us it's more like an adventure. He doesn't make any moves to like one over another, and he doesn't, and he tells us that he was married, and we were like, oh, he's divorced. So we started to think maybe he's like not a good guy, looking for easy girls or something like that. So we kind of started to be a little suspicious of his intentions. So we just watch a movie, and we randomly like leave or something like that. So again a long story, 30 minutes. Yeah, and we didn't even get to broken heart part. So later on, I don't know how things played out. Maybe later on, in a couple of months, we meet this guy again, and he introduces us to his friends. And what is interesting is that Lana likes one of his friends, and Lana starts dating that other guy, so I'm kind of happy for her. But because we're hanging out together, I don't really have a boyfriend with this party. And I kind of like me and Lana kind of like don't hang out as much, because now she has a boyfriend, I don't have a boyfriend, and we kind of like part ways for a couple of months. And we kind of like part ways a little bit, because she's busy with her new boyfriend. And like when back in the day, when you're young and your friend has a boyfriend and you don't, you kind of don't want to be a third wheel. So I still didn't, I don't remember if I dated someone back in the day. Yeah, I kind of dated a guy for a little bit, but it wasn't anything serious. We were just, like nothing serious. It wasn't a like full-blown relationship with like, I don't know. It was just, I kind of like tried to try relationships, but didn't want to commit, didn't want to have anything serious. But anyways, later on, something happens around my 20th birthday, and something happens with that guy I was dating that I got really, really upset about. I got really, really mad. And all of a sudden, Lana invites me to her friend's party, like her boyfriend's party, and I see that guy again, that guy that met us, that invited us to his house for this, like watching TV. And again, I don't think much about that guy. I kind of thought like, well, but because I had like, I had a bad experience with my boyfriend, I kind of confessed to that guy that I'm going through stuff and I don't know how to react. I'm a little heartbroken, blah, blah, blah. And he kind of was nice to me. He said, oh, well, he's more experienced. He is like older than I am. And here we are, hanging out, going to a coffee shop, drinking something. And he kind of started to show some interest in me, and I'm like, interesting. Like, I wouldn't think much about him. Back in the day when he saw Lana being with his friend, he probably thought, well, maybe he liked her, but because she started to date his friend, he was like, and she was off the, she was off touch. So I kind of thought, well, if he's nice to me and he's like, wants to hang out, I don't mind. I kind of thought of him as a good rebound, if you wish. But back in the day, again, if something happens to you and your self-esteem goes low and your heart is broken with one boyfriend, you kind of try to find someone else to give you attention, just not to be like too upset, or just not to be so I kind of thought, well, if this guy gives me some attention, why not? So he kind of invited me on a like date or something, and the next time I go out with him, it's just two of us, no friends. So we kind of start dating, and it's again, everything goes like very slow. Like we see each other once a week, we go somewhere, or he meets me after college. And Lana kind of like cheering me up. She kind of tells me, oh wow, like maybe if there is a party now, we can go on a double date, because I'm like dating his friend, blah blah blah. So she's kind of supporting me. She's kind of like happy for me. She said, oh, why not? You're not you're not alone. You're not it's funny. She's kind of supporting me. She's kind of wants me to be happy, and nothing wrong with that, because she's in a relationship. So and again, it's the same party. We can hang out together, go together with these guys, and they seem to be a little older, a little more mature, and some of them have cars. And back in the day, if somebody has a car, it's so cool because they can give you a ride, stuff like that. So I kind of, let's say I've been dating him for maybe a month or two. It wasn't like I wasn't like deeply in love. I didn't like had a huge crush on him, but because he kind of was nice and he took me to nice places. I don't even remember how many times he took me, maybe a couple of times. But anyways, I kind of like him. I kind of like him. So what happens next? Something happens in Lana's family, that she needs to live somewhere, and she doesn't have anywhere to live. So I asked my mom if Lana can come and live in my house. And because my mom knows her parents, because my mom knows we are good friends and she's doing great in school and college, she said, of course, she can come live with you. She can be your roommate in our house. Of course, we'll take her in until she figures out her lodging situation. She can come live with us. And my mom was very nice about it. She said, you can share your room. She can, she can eat with us. And there is no problem like to have another kid in the house, because by then, my sister moved out already, and I was the only child living at home. So my mom lets me bring Lana in. So I bring Lana in, and a couple of months we live together. We have fun. We go places. We study together. We cook something together. So we had like really good, really good time together. And she's still dating that guy, and I'm still kind of dating this guy, but there is nothing serious. We can't really move to anything like serious, if you know what I mean. So, but still, we're having a good time. And one time I hear Lana talking on the phone to somebody. And back in the day, we didn't have cell phones, so we had a landline. And remember, you had a landline. When somebody calls you, you have to take your phone with a big, huge cord. You have to take it to your room, and you kind of talk, you kind of talk in your room. So I see her bringing the phone back and forth, and she's trying to talk on the phone so I don't hear her. And she lives in my house, so I want her to tell me what's going on. But she's kind of like, oh, I'm going through a rough patch with my boyfriend. She kind of doesn't tell me everything. And this behavior is very suspicious. So I'm like asking her, who are you talking to? And she said, just someone I need to talk to. But because she doesn't let me hear the conversation, I started to kind of like smell something suspicious. And, of course, I can't share with my mom. I can't share with anybody. I probably share with another friend. And she said, well, can she talk to your boyfriend? And I said, why would she talk to my boyfriend? And she said, maybe she's like, maybe he helps her with, her boyfriend's like giving her advice or something. And I keep asking her, do you talk to my boyfriend? And she said, no, it's not him, blah, blah, blah. But then she starts to disappear. And then she starts to disappear in the evenings. And my boyfriend doesn't call me anymore. And I kind of, like, don't know what's going on. But I do have this, I have, like, very good intuition. If you think something is going on, trust your guts. Something is going on. If you see some red flags in people's behavior, just be on the lookout. Don't try to confront people. Well, I probably, back in the day, I kind of felt awkward to confront her because she lived in my house and I couldn't even, tell my mom that something is going on because my mom would make a big deal out of it. And you don't share these things with your parents. You only share these things with your other friends, and you kind of feel awkward. So one time, I see something is going on, and finally, I think she confessed to me that yes, she's talking to my boyfriend. And all hell breaks loose, and I thought I'm gonna laugh at it, but some memories, when I start remembering it and telling it on the camera, some memories bring me a little, like, heartbreak, like right now, and I get a little, like, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna tell this story. It's gonna be fun to tell because it's a live stream, but now I'm telling it and I kind of feel a little bit yicky because that was happening to me. And I was 19. I didn't know, I was already 20. I didn't know how to cope with it. That was the first time. And this girl lived in my house, so I kind of always thought of her highly because she was nice, and we had such good times together. And because she already had boyfriend, I started to have suspicions that she wants to steal my boyfriend. And when I kind of like started to get clues, she finally confessed. And she said, well, I understand, but we got a little closer. And I'm sorry about that, but he's helping me with, she would tell me that he's helping me with what I'm going through, like after breaking up with my boyfriend, because that's his friend and he's kind of giving me a shoulder to lean on. And I'm like, no, he's, he was my boyfriend. Like, how could you do that to me? But she kind of like, she feels sorry. She's not totally like a bitch about it. Like, she's not totally telling me bad things about me or anything. She kind of backs off, and she kind of says, I understand you're mad with me, please don't be mad with me. And she'll tell me I'll move out. So as soon as we talk about this situation, of course she understands she has to move out. And I'm totally like panicking, heartbroken. I'm mad with that guy, I'm not talking to him. I don't want explanation, I'm so heartbroken. And all of a sudden she moves out, and of course my mom asked me, oh, what's going on? Why she's moving out? Like, did you have a quarrel? Did you have like a fight or something? I said, Mom, don't like get into my business. And I don't want to tell my mom because, the more you tell your parents, the more they start to worry, the more they start to bug you about every little thing. And the more they, my mom used to be like, she would put oil in the fire, you know, like the more she would bug me with this, the more I will be upset. So I would just tell Mom, leave me alone, I'm gonna tell you the whole story, she's just moving out because, you know. And then my mom started to like get annoyed. She said, did she steal your boyfriend or something? Did she like someone you like? And I'm like, Mom, leave me alone. So I didn't want to share much with my mom because my mom was so nosy. She would like to be in my business. But again, she would say, oh, you're just young girls. You have, you know, she said, you have all life ahead of you. It's okay. If she wants to move out, that's fine. And my mom just would tell me, move on. Don't be like ridiculous. He wasn't your like husband. He wasn't your real boyfriend. Let her live her life, you know. So my mom would, you know, instead of like comforting me, my mom would be totally, you know, like comforting the other person and like, and I'm like, Mom, I'm hurting. She's not hurting. And my mom said, oh, come on, get over it. It wasn't anything serious. Just move on. Just live your life. Leave her alone. Like, and I remember instead of like crying on my mom's shoulder, I wouldn't tell her anything because, you know, she would always blame me. She's like, she's prettier than you. And do you want to hear that from your mom? No, of course. So she would say, whatever. Maybe he's attracted to her more, and, you know, just move on. Just go ahead and meet somebody else. And my mom starts to, you know, find like some other some other ladies who have son, and she starts to introduce me to some random guys because, you know, she wants me to date somebody decent, blah blah blah, and she wants me to feel better about my girlfriend stealing my boyfriend. So I part ways with Lana. And of course, you know, I find more friends from the same class, and of course I tell them what happened. I'm like, oh, she stole my boyfriend, and she seems to be happy with him. And, you know, seeing her on everyday basis, like seeing her in college being happy, being like outgoing, having fun, blah blah blah. And then we had summer vacation, and seeing her, and I still didn't have a boyfriend, you know, like I've been still going through like heartbreak. And seeing her happy, like she would say, I traveled with him to the seaside, blah, blah, blah. So I was like heartbroken. I was heartbroken for the rest of the year. Even I had, I don't know if I traveled somewhere that year. Did I travel somewhere? Yeah, maybe I traveled. So when we come back after the summer, it was I was already turned 21, and I think I got I had a job. I think at 21 I already had a job, and I started seeing someone. Yeah. So I started to see someone after I turned 21. Yep, in 97 I turned 21, and I'm still not friends with Lana. I'm friends with some other girl from the college class. And she said, oh, don't worry about it, you'll find somebody else. So I'm kind of heartbroken for a while. That whole year I was heartbroken. I didn't date anybody. But when I turned 21, I meet someone. My mom introduced me, like some lady introduced her son to me, blah, blah, blah. So my mom like made an arrangement. She introduced me to some guy. And I started to date that guy. And of course I want to please my mom, and I would tell, yeah, he's a nice guy, I'll go out with him, blah blah blah. But then I kind of thought, well, he's a nice guy, and I'm single, and I'm young, and, you know, a lot of my friends are dating. I want to date too, you know, so I'm like, I'm gonna date. So I meet this guy, and we spend like Christmas together, and he gives me like nice cute gifts, and he comes to my house sometimes, and then he comes to my sister's house like for a party, and everybody likes him. He's like cute, and he's like shy, and he's easygoing, and he's from a good family. So I kind of date him, and I kind of like forget about Lana. I kind of get over our, you know, like quarrel. And later on, she breaks up with that guy. No, she didn't break up, you know. There should be a plot. There should be something that I have to, there should be a vendetta, you know. There should be something that I would do to her to spoil their relationship. So what happens? Back in the day, we didn't have cell phone. I told you that. And I had my other friend who saw Lana with a different guy in the coffee shop, in some random cafe, in some restaurant. So when she comes home that evening, she calls me and she says, isn't it Lana dating that guy like who broke up with you to date her? And I said, yes, she does. And she said, are you sure they have good relationship? I said, yeah, because she said, I saw Lana with another guy at the restaurant. And I said, no way, how could it be? It's not possible. And she said, yeah, I tell you exactly, that was her. She was with a different guy. She was happy. They were drinking. She was obviously on a date, blah, blah, blah. So, and she tells me that. I say, are you sure about it? Because I'm not going to take it easily. I'm going to try to, spoil her relationship now. So I call that guy, her boyfriend, and I call him and I say, do you know where is Lana by any chance? And he says, oh, well, her aunt is sick, so she told me she can't hang out today with me because she needs to cook soup for her aunt or something, so she's not here with me. So why are you bothering? And I'm like, she's cooking for her aunt, for her aunt, really? Are you sure she's telling you the truth? And he's like, oh, what do you mean? I say, because I was trying to reach her and her aunt says she's not home and I'm looking for her because I have something important to tell her. And he's like starting to say, what do you imply? What do you mean? And I'm like, you want to ask Lana where she really was because she was noticed with someone else in the restaurant. And can you believe you're like doing that? Can you believe you're 20 years old and you want your ex-girlfriend to suffer so badly, to get caught cheating? And he's like, oh, really? And he said, really? Okay, thank you for the information. I'll take it from here. And I was like, I'm telling my friend, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I tried to kind of like catch her cheating and tell my ex-boyfriend about her cheating, blah, blah, blah. So obviously she got caught and obviously something didn't work out and she was no longer a girlfriend to the guy. So later on, yeah, that was interesting. So she was a little bit probably mad about it, that I put her in that, situation. But later on when she broke up with him, we kind of started to talk again, she would approach me and she would say, hey, listen, I'm not dating him anymore. Let's be friends together again and stuff like that. And I was, at 20, I was already 21. I was 21 and I had my boyfriend and I had a crush on somebody else too. So I kind of had a good dating life. And when a girl like that age at 21 has a good dating life and she's pretty much has settled and she doesn't want to hold grudges. And I kind of like Lana because she's still my classmate. She's still going with me to college. So I don't want to be enemies anymore. And since I kind of had this vendetta over her, since I kind of paid her back and she said, well, you set me up, he wasn't happy, I was seeing somebody else. And she said, I kind of didn't like relationship with him anymore, blah, blah, blah. So she said, I met this other guy and I want to be free, blah, blah, blah. So she's like, doesn't get mad at me for this particular situation that I set her up, that, he caught her cheating. So we kind of broke even, we kind of were even. And she said, since we're even, we can be friends again. And I'm like, oh yeah, right, we can be friends again. So, and I was already 21. That was already, I had my 21st birthday. I had my couple of people I was dating in the meantime, blah, blah, blah. So we are friends again. So what happens next? That was very interesting thing. I was working for a family and this family went away and this family asked me to babysit the house, for just to go randomly clean up and water the plants and just, take care of the apartment when they were away on vacation. And I would go there and because I was very bored, I would ask Lana to come with me. And she would go and we hang out like every Saturday in that apartment. We just watch TV, we dress up, you know, like try some, you know, clothes on. So we just hanging out in that apartment, and we are friends again. So one time, so we just, you know, friends again. So one time, and it was, I know exactly what was the month. It was month of February. And I think by then I'm already 21 and a half, and I'm already broken up with my boyfriend, the one that mom's introduced me to. So I'm single again, and I'm, you know, I'm in the, you know, I'm in search of new boyfriend, and she doesn't date anybody too. So we kind of like single again, and we hanging out again, and we like share our, you know, like being single, we share good times together. So, and we're still like we're still young, and we're still kind of, you know, after the relationship you're broken for a little bit, but then you kind of move on. You don't think like anything serious gonna happen with the guys you broke up with. So we both are single again, and we're hanging out with friends. Girl, where do you live? Okay, so it's 6:33. I promise I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna wrap up really soon. So I'm friends with her again, and we having a good time. And one time I'm going home like very late in the evening. Like we hang out together, and then she goes to her house, I go to my house. And I think that was my mom's birthday in February, and I wanted to buy her big bouquet of flowers. So I'm going to the flower market, and I'm walking around looking for flowers, to pick up flowers for my mom. And here's that guy, you know, who is older, and he approaches me, and he looks really good. He's dressed up very well, and he's very well-mannered, you know. He's an older guy. He probably, maybe, I was 21, and the guy was maybe in his early 30s. So he's like maybe 10 or 12 years older than I am. And he approaches me at the flower market, and he's like, "Hi, what are you doing here?" And I'm like, "I'm picking flowers for my mom. What are you doing here?" And he said, "Oh, I'm picking flowers for my mom too." And I'm like, that's an awkward, you know, conversation starter. But I'm like, whatever. And he said, "Do you mind I walk you home?" And I'm like, what a random guy. Why he wants to walk me home, you know? And I'm like, but he looks like well-mannered, and he looks kind of like, you know, good-looking, and, you know, I'm like, yeah, you can walk me home. So I'm carrying this big bouquet of flowers, and he's carrying this bouquet of flowers, and we just walk into my, you know, to my apartment building. And he asked me like, "How are you doing? What are you like doing in life?" I'm like, "I'm good. I'm college student, blah blah blah. I work for a family as a babysitter, because back in the day I worked for a family as a babysitter, so I make my own money." And I tell him that my mom's birthday is tomorrow. Oh, it's getting dark. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm almost done. I'm almost done with this heartbroken story. I promise. Maybe I need to go out and sit outside, but it's probably too loud there. The cars and it's traffic. Anyways, it's getting dark. Let me see if I can turn on the light. Yeah, I can turn on the light in the car. How about now? So betrayal number 2. You wouldn't believe that story. Okay, I'm almost there. So Lana betrayed me twice. So I meet this guy at the flower market, and he walks me home, and he tells me, "You're so nice. Like I listened to your story. It seems like you're from a good family, buying flowers for your mom. Here's my phone number. If you'd like to hang out, maybe like it's a weekend, maybe we can hang out, you know." And I'm like, oh wow, the guy gives me his number. You know, why not? And I'm single, and he says, "I have a car if you ever need a ride," because back in the day we used the public transportation. So anybody who has a car is like it's a big deal, because you need to come from place to place. Instead of using public transportation, somebody can give you a ride. It's a big deal. So he tells me that he has a car, and he's older, and you know, I'm like, older guy. And of course you look at his hands, if he doesn't have a wedding ring, blah blah blah. So of course, I don't see any wedding ring, and because he's nice and he's like walks me home and he says, here is my number. He said, it's a weekend, come in if you need a ride or something. If you need a ride or you just need to hang out, just give me a call. And I'm like, okay. And the next day it's my mom's birthday, and but you know, she tells me, you know, she was busy cooking or something, so she tells me I ordered a big cake from a baking lady, and I supposed to bring that cake at night for her. And she asked me when I'm going to pick up the cake. I said, well, I'm going like at 5 o'clock in the evening because the cake will be ready at 5 o'clock. And she said, what you gonna do? I say, well, since I'm babysitting that apartment for these people, I'm gonna go to this apartment. And she says, are you sure? I say, yeah, because I need to plan the, you know, to what are the plans? And she said, are you going alone there? I say, I'm gonna take Lana with me. And she said, okay, you can take Lana. So my mom knew that we're friends again and we're hanging out again. So I call Lana. I say, do you want to go to this apartment with me? And she says, yeah. And I said, well, we only can hang out until 5 because I have to pick up the cake, and I have to, if you want, you can come to my house to, my mom would be really happy if you come and hang out with us for dinner and maybe eat the cake together. And she said, yeah, maybe. And she said, maybe we'll do that. And I told her, maybe you can go with me to pick up the cake and maybe we hang out after that. So we got to that apartment and we again having a good time. I water the plants, we sit there, we admire the apartment, we watch TV, we hang out. And then I tell her, listen, I met that guy yesterday. That was my mistake. I said, I met this guy yesterday at the flower market. And she said, oh, what's the guy? She's like, curious. I'm like, you know, he was really nice. He had a car. He looked very good looking. And he's older and he was dressed up nicely. And he talked to me nicely. And he gave me his phone to hang out. And she said, oh, let's call him. Let's hang out. And I'm like, no. What are you talking about? It's my mom's birthday. We have to pick up. And she said, well, if he has a car, maybe he'll give us a ride. We'll pick your mom's cake. He'll give us a ride like a taxi. She said, let's kind of use him, you know, like why? If he gave you his number, let's do something fun. So she makes me call him. And I'm like, okay, adventure, you know, we're young girls. We don't have anywhere to be until 5, you know. So we're like, yeah, we have a whole day ahead of us. So it's like, we call him around noon, you know. We call him, I call him and I say, hi. And he said, oh, I am glad you called. And I'm like, interesting. So what are you up to? I say, well, me and my friend, we're just hanging out and we need to later on to pick up the cake. Can you give us a ride? And he said, oh, of course, I'm going to hang out with you. He said, I'm in the business meeting right now. Do you know where is this like hotel is? Because we're like, oh, hotel. And we're like right in the center of the town where we are. And that hotel like literally 2 blocks away, so we can walk there. He said, okay, you can go with your aunt. I say, I'm with my friend. He said, oh, it's even better. If you're with your friend, I'll hang out with you and I'll help you pick up the cake. And I drop you off at the house with the cake. And I explained to him. And he said, yeah, we can hang out. We can go for coffee. We can go for ice cream, whatever you guys want to do. We can go eat. And we say, okay, we'll meet you there. So we go there to meet him. Me and my friend Lana. And of course, he's like super nice, super well-behaved, super courteous, you know, like he would open the door for us to the car, you know, like we would get in the car, he will get us. And we're like looking at each other, we're like, oh, wow, that's a nice gentleman, you know, like he takes us for a coffee. I don't know if it was like some coffee and like maybe baking goods or something. But anyways, we kind of hang out, we talk, like, again, me, Lana, and that guy. And he's like telling us jokes, like he, you know, back in the day, if somebody is older, he tells you about his experiences. Like he told us that he works for like some kind of like fancy business and he goes a lot outside of the country for business trips, you know. So he makes like interesting impression on 2 like 21-year-olds, and he tells us stories, which countries he went. And he tells us about other cultures. And of course, we were sitting there and listening to his stories. We kind of like him, you know. We kind of like him, and of course, like at the back of my mind, I think, oh, he's a nice gentleman. Maybe, like maybe he can date me, or he'll invite me for a date later, since it was me to call him, since he met me at the flower market and he introduced himself. And it seems like we had a good time. We had a great day together. So I don't know, when it was like time to go to pick up the cake, he said, of course, I'll take you guys where you need to be. I'll pick the cake, blah blah blah. And I say, yeah, we're gonna pick the cake, and me and Lana going to my mom's birthday. Like, I'm going home because it's my mom's birthday. I have to bring the cake. And Lana told me she can join us for dinner, so if you drop us off at home, like, we'll be very grateful to you. I said, of course, yeah, I'll take you to pick up the cake. So we go pick up this beautiful cake. We sit in the car, like, he helps us with the cake and everything. So we drive to my house. And when it's time to get out, he helps me with the cake. And Lana sits in the car. And I'm like, Lana, aren't you going? And she said, oh, well, I have a little headache. Like, she's like, all of a sudden, she said, I'm so sorry. Tell your mom I can't come. Like, because I already told my mom I'm hanging out with Lana. We're picking the cake. I bring her over for like dinner. And my mom already knows. And I say, oh, come on. My mom already knows you're coming. You'll be okay. I'll give you like Tylenol or something. And she said, oh, no, I don't really feel well. Tell your mom I'm so sorry I can't come. And she's just sitting in the car. And the guy said, oh, if you don't feel well, I'll take you home. I'll take you home. That's fine. Where do you live? And she said, oh, I just live 15 minutes away from here. And she's like sitting in the car. I'm like, oh, whatever. I don't think much about it. I grab my cake. I have to be home to see my mom and celebrate her birthday with this beautiful cake. And I'm saying, okay, have fun. Yeah, feel better. I tell her, okay, if you have a headache, feel better. I'll see you like maybe tomorrow, like a day after. So I go home without like any thought. We had a good day, and I got my cake, and the cake is so delish. My mom's so happy that I got her this cake, and my mom cooked a lot of good food. Our neighbor stopped by. Okay, I'm almost done. Somebody's calling me. So my mom asked me how was my day, and I said great, and we all had a good time, celebrated my mom's birthday. And I know it's Lana's birthday in a couple of days after my mom's birthday. Like, my mom was born on February 22nd, and Lana's birthday is on 25th. And she kind of said like she wants to hang out or something, but all of a sudden she had this headache, and then later on she said she doesn't feel well, and she's not inviting me to celebrate her birthday. And I'm like, something must be going on. And when I see that weird behavior, I'm kind of like, what's going on again? And then a couple of days later, she confesses again that this guy who took her home when she had the headache, they kind of didn't go straight away home. They went on a date again, and like they went to hang out again for a little bit. And I said, but you said you had the headache. And she said, well, he was so nice to me, and we had a conversation, blah, blah, blah. So she basically didn't go to my mom's birthday. She told the guy to take her home. She didn't go straight home. She hung out with him. And then she offered her to celebrate her birthday. He took her out, blah, blah, blah. And she was interested in him. And all of a sudden, the guy I met at the flower market becomes her boyfriend. Oh my gosh. Guys, back then, I was heartbroken. And it was like, again, I was so heartbroken. I was so traumatized. And I'm like, Lana, the same girlfriend. Second time in a couple of years. She's stealing my, I wouldn't say it's a boyfriend. Like, this time I had nothing to do with this man. I saw him twice in my life, and he wasn't my boyfriend at all. So she could steal him, of course. She had all the rights to steal him. But you know, the feeling that she kind of went for it, like that feeling of betrayal, that was so bad. I was so heartbroken. I'm like, how could you do that to me for the second time? And my self-esteem plummeted down even more. After all these years of not being friends with her, after all these years having my own relationship, getting more experience with the boyfriends, you know, I met somebody I kind of like had hope to date, like a decent guy. Listen to that story. So she starts dating him. So I got so mad at her. I got super mad at her. And again, it's already we were already turning like 22 this year. So I stopped talking to her again. I stopped hanging out with her again, and I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, she betrayed me twice. I'm not gonna tolerate this behavior. And you know, that's it. I'm not gonna talk to her again. So I stopped talking to her, and later on I've been, you know, having relationships here and there, but you know, I didn't have I don't remember if I had boyfriend that year. So I kind of again felt lonely. And it was again like summer break, and we didn't have summer term. So before going back to college, for the third year of college, I see her being like well dressed. She said she went on vacation to Europe in summer, and I'm like, really? So that guy was like very well off. He took her on vacation to Europe. He bought her nice clothes. He bought her like nice jewelry. And I'm totally heartbroken because I'm seeing her being happy. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe, you know, like, why this guy preferred her over me, and my self-esteem like plummeted because I don't feel myself pretty anymore. So one time, and I don't talk to her anymore, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hang out. So one time she tells me, it's been 1 hour. Okay, if you want to listen to the end of this story, I'm gonna stop this live stream, and I'm gonna start another live stream when I get home. I have to be home because I need to pick up my kid. Bye bye. See you later. So she betrayed me twice, but this is not the end of the story. If you wanted to listen to the end of the story, watch my next live stream. Love you all. Bye bye bye. I have to rush. Bye bye bye. Bye.